Hi everyone, welcome back. We continue on this list and today we are going to learn about solve and solveCubic functions. These functions are helping us to find the unknowns in an equations. Also, in another way we can say maybe they are help us to solve the linear systems, for example the solve function. What I'm meaning is that let's say 2x plus 3y is equal to, let's say, 9. So you need to you know from the math how to get this x and y. You need of course one more equation similar to this one. So with two equation you can get the x and y values. In a similar way you are gonna give these two equation to this solve function and it's gonna give you the output. In a similar way you can increase the number of parameters, number of variables, for example 4z or plus let's say 7q. Continue like that. As soon as you increase the number of the variables, you need to also increase the equation, of course, because another way it cannot be solved. So in this kind of things, the solve function is gonna help us. In a similar way, this solve cubic function is gonna also solve the equation of this kind of. That's why the name is cubic. So it's gonna take the cubic only. So you need to give always this kind of standard equation. So it's gonna give you the output of this x. All you need to do is just giving the coefficients and it's gonna give you the output. But this one you need to give the input. Of course you need to give to also another input which is including the results, which is for example this 9. For each equation it's gonna include. We are gonna understand more clearly in the code part. Also it's gonna give you the destination output. No need to check here, directly switch to the code part and we understand more clearly. This is the code from the previous video. Maybe we can delete these things. We don't need imshow. Also we don't need sort function. We don't need named window. Okay. And we can start with a simple function, for example. By the way, it's accepting only the float type of math, so you need to change because of course the equation results mostly coming, the unknowns will be float type. It's so difficult to get the difficult to get the integer type because of course they will have some decimal numbers. Okay, I want to start 2 by 2 matrix. I mean 2 by 2 equations. What I'm meaning is that I want to solve the equation ax plus, let's say, by is equal to coefficient. So I want to solve this kind of equation for beginning, and for that I need to give 2 by 2 matrix, which is gonna include this. Maybe I need one more. So in this case, of course, this a and b's are different. Let's say maybe to understand more clearly, let's call this S and let's call this D, let's say, and here is gonna be R maybe. So I need to give first of all in 2 by 2 matrix these A, B, S, D values. For example, let's start 2, 1, and 4, and let's say 7. So my A, B, S, D is accordingly this 2, 1, 4, 7. Maybe understand more clearly, make like this so we can make the corresponding one. A is 2, B is 1, S is 4, and 7 is equal to D. Okay, so we only have the first matrix we already get, and secondly we need to also get for input 2. But you see this is gonna be input 2, but it's not 2 by 2, of course, it's 2 by 1. By the way, 2 is representing the number of rows, just to remind, and 1 is representing the number of columns. So okay, just like this, and maybe let's change 3 to 2, let's say. So C is 3, R is 2 according. So we already get the parameters, so all we need to do is that just calling our solve function, and we are gonna give the input 1, we are gonna give to input 2, and we are gonna give the output, which will be our result. We don't need to give the fourth parameter because default is already, if I'm not wrong, this one, which is for which I explained we are always solving our equations. It's gonna calculate in that way, and we can write the result to the console because since these are float type, we are not able to show with imshow. It's better to write to the console. Input 1 I wanna see in result. Okay, and similarly I want to see input 2, and at the end I want to see output. Okay, let's run and see the result. Okay, now this is my input 1, input 2, and this is the result. Let's calculate it's correct or not. And 2 times this is gonna be a, x is equal to this because already solved. 1.9 is equal to x. So 1.9, then plus, but since this is minus, maybe minus 0.8 is equal to 3. So this is the 3 already. So the x is correctly calculated. So it's correct. Let's try with the second equation, which is okay, 4 times, this is 4 times x is equal to 1.9 again, and plus 7 times, since this is minus, let's make minus 7 times 0.8 and is equal to 2, which is this one. 2, 3. We found the same input 2 math, which is 3, 2. We see the same results in here. So it's just calculating the coefficients, calculating the unknown variables. So where do we use these functions? By the way, we didn't talk about this one. We use these kind of functions for camera calibration because there are some unknowns. Is gonna be some camera parameters is gonna be unknown. So in that cases, we are using these functions. Also, in in homography estimation, we can use this function. Also in optical flow, also it's very important to use these functions because we are making an estimation in their linear estimation. Maybe with a tracking project later we can do, and we can see how this function is working in there, because since tracking is a kind of estimation including, because the object is going in a way, mostly we are estimating it's a linear way. So we are estimating, okay, the next way the tracking object is gonna be here. So we are calculating the accordingly with the help of this linear equation solver, which is solve function. So similarly we can make also 3 unknown example, but let's make maybe one more. Let's say, okay, we are gonna add one more z value, maybe here, let's say f. I will not write the all of them, but just to know, we are gonna give now 3 parameters. So we are gonna 3 unknown equation we are gonna solve. For that we need 3 row, also 3 column we need. Then the first one, let's say 4. I hope we create an equation which can be solvable. And 5, and I need 3 more parameters. Okay, 7, 9, and 1, let's say. In here also I need 3 row, but still 1 column, because it's gonna be representing the number of this one. So this is just a coefficient. Okay, maybe with this we can directly see the result. I believe we didn't do anything wrong. So it's gonna give me, I expect 3 value result, which is including x, y, and z values. Let's see the result. Okay, we can calculate maybe just one of them, then we can skip this part anymore. Let's calculate with just the second equation. Let's just make the result correction, and let's start with the 4 times what is okay here, 4 times x, which is in 1.16, let's say 5, then plus b times y, which is 7 times, okay, this is gonna be minus 7 times 82. Since I'm trying to write all of the decimal numbers, because it's gonna otherwise not calculate correctly maybe, so I'm writing all the decimal numbers. I'm trying at least until the 4th one, and 7 times this one. Okay, the last one is 5 times, okay, is positive, 5 times 0.3196, let's say, rounded. So we are expecting this result is gonna give us the, since this is the second one, it's gonna give us the 2, value of 2. Let's run. Okay, where we are mistaken. Okay, 4.4 times 1.45. This is not, okay, this is wrong. It's gonna be 16 and the rest is correct. 7 times okay, 7 times 0. This is correct, and the 5 times, okay, of course you forget the decimal, so it's gonna give us the 2, value of 2, which is in here. So the results are correct. Don't ignore this one because we are not including all the decimal values. We are skipping some of these. So this is correct. It's gonna give us the same result. So it's found the results correctly. What else? Let's little talk about solveCubic, then we can finish this video. Okay, so for solveCubic we just need to give input 1. Input 1 is not gonna be accepted because, let's try maybe to be sure, and we need output also. Let's see, most probably it's gonna give us error because it's gonna take, where is the cubic one? Okay, we just need to give coefficient 0, 1, 2, 3. So all we need to do is just giving 4 parameter, the maximum. Also we can give 3 in some cases. Let's back to the code part. Since this has 3, input 2 is gonna work, I believe. I don't want to see input 1 anymore. Okay, so it's calculated, but maybe this is not. Let's try to correct also this one. What is basically doing, we are just giving 3 parameters, right? So it's just calculating also 3 result, because I mean, since this is cubic, there is no only one solution, there are 3 solutions it's gonna be. So it's gonna give us the 3 results, 3 roots, we can say. So let's calculate. Since we are giving 3 input, this is the first one, second, and the third one, just to keep in mind. Okay, then result, the root 1 is minus 2.67. Let's calculate that one. 2 minus 2 times 67, 17. Root of the first one is gonna be cubic, plus the second one is gonna be the square, which is gonna be taking the coefficient of 3 times, and 2.67, 12 as root of 2, and plus this is gonna be taking the coefficient of 2, but since this is minus and the okay, the also it's gonna give the first root, and after that 2 times, we are writing directly the number, then the last one is gonna be the coefficient, which is 3, if I'm not wrong. Okay, let's see, let's check again. This is the first parameter, just cubic. Since we are giving 3 number, this is gonna be empty, the coefficient is gonna be 1. The second coefficient is gonna be 3, which we are giving here. So then the number of square of that one, that's why positive we are making, even it's not negative. Then the again the degree is 1, so minus 2 times the number. Lastly, we are giving the constant number. Then let's see, we are expecting this result is gonna give us 0. Okay, it's giving 0. It's expected, it's accepted, I believe, because we are not calculating many decimal numbers here. In similar way, of course, 0 and 0 is the 0 and 0 is the root also. Why it's like that? They are giving, maybe since there is no more root, it's gonna give us, because we are giving maybe bad numbers, that's why it's gonna give us 0. If we change maybe with some better numbers, let's see, because I'm expecting more result in some case. It's only giving 1 result, it's interesting, the others always 0. Okay, let's try one more. It's not filling the rest of the numbers. What if I give one more parameter? What happens? It's still filling only the first number. What is telling the output? Output array of real roots that has 1 or 3 elements. Okay, so sometimes 1, sometimes 3. Maybe we need to put some coefficients which is giving the 3 roots at the end, since I couldn't get it because I'm trying even different kind of okay, we cannot get, we only getting the first root, the second and third root luckily we couldn't get. Maybe you can try in your side. Okay, so basically in this video I want to talk about this solve and solveCubic function. See you in the next videos.